Will Cederian Morgan follow in the footsteps of Jordan Seaton and Julian Lewis as program-defining recruits for Coach Prime in Colorado? We talk about that. We got fill in the blank and so much more. Let's get it. Squad.
Good morning. Welcome into DNVR Buffs Live. We are in the studio.
The stew. Good morning, brother. How are you feeling on this beautiful Thursday morning?
I'm feeling pretty good, actually. We're gonna have a fun day today.
Yeah, we are, bro. I'm feeling the vibes. We're gonna be in Boulder here later today. We got an early show. Thanks for everybody who tapped in early with us this morning. How we feeling?
Yep.
W's in the chat
with the Buffs, and tomorrow too. Early show tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes.
And if you're listening, and if you're a DNVR diehard, get in that Discord because tomorrow is your time. Literally.
I was walking into the stew, the bar, about an hour ago. And as I was coming in, it's like the side door here on York.
Yeah.
Like somebody like screamed something at me from like their car as they were like at a red light, whatever. So I was like, and I like took my glasses off to like look in or whatever. And then they repeated it again and they were like, "Go Bears." And I was like, let's go Bear down. You feel me? It's
crazy.
That time.
Bringing back the sweetness shirt. I love it, bro.
Hell yeah. Even in Denver, bro. We really worldwide.
We recognize greatness out here, man.
We love to hear it. Honestly, it's like the same color scheme too, you know, which is, and that obviously doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's kind of interesting.
I mean, look, I really don't have a bone to pick with the Bears. Y'all are good people, in my opinion.
Yeah. Thanks, bro.
There's a lot more fan bases, teams that I'd throw into the bus before I got to you. So
actually, a lot. Like there are like a lot of fan bases you really don't rock with, which is hilarious
for sure. I've got my my thoughts and my opinions, man. Okay, today on the show, Scotty made fill in the blank. I'm excited, so I don't even really know what to expect for that one. I trust you though,
as you should, brother.
So we'll talk some more CFP stuff. Maybe we'll get to Diego Pavia. Did you hear that, or did you see that interview?
I saw him was basically like calling all the Big Ten teams trash, pretty much, right?
And what he said, he got offered to enter the portal and all that?
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Anonymous coach is back. This is going to be incredible. We have, he said a lot of stuff this time about a lot of teams.
I love how it was just like anonymous coach always running his mouth.
I mean, we're up to 6 teams now. If this guy's like talking about his own team, unless he's doing that, we can cross off almost half the conference.
CSI DNVR?
I mean, we can, sure.
Process of elimination? I feel like we could do it.
We'll get a better idea, I think, though.
You have kind of been in your investigation like 30 for 30 bag here recently, so like that kind of fits.
Yeah, I have nothing else to do. Kelley Ford projections for Big 12 standings and wins. We'll start today with recruiting.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday was fun. Shout out to Harrison and Dre for coming on for Musical Chairs Day.
Definitely. They killed it.
They did kill it. We wanted to talk more about Cederian Morgan, though. And, I mean, the guy came in on a secret visit. Recruits don't just do that.
Midweek, fresh off a SEC visit. Mm-hmm. And this is, we talked about it a couple weeks ago when he had the core. He was like, I mess with everybody on his recruiting staff.
Yes.
He wasn't lying because you don't do that, fresh off an Auburn visit on a Monday or whatever day it was. Was it a Monday, right? Or
it was the weekend.
Midweek, yeah, midweek to come to Boulder, Colorado. If you don't really rock with the people who are in this program and around it. And obviously, Corey Phillips is right by his side, along with another kind of, target potentially, at least a flip target. The right tackle was committed to Syracuse. So Yeah, bro. I mean, the hype is building around Cederian, and this is the time to go all in. Kind of similar to what we see Coach Bart do with Gavin Mueller as his commitment date, kind of neared. Like, you got to pick up the pace, like applied pressure. Yeah. And obviously with Cederian Morgan committing in like 2 weeks now, July 2nd.
It was 2 weeks yesterday.
Yeah, so less than 2 weeks now. Like, this is the time to really apply that full court press. And, Coach Phillips, Coach Box, the rest of the squad are really doing it. And we love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, shout out obviously to, the headliners, Coach Corey out there on the visit with him and Javion Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, Coach Box, remember that tweet about a month ago? Coach Box went to Cederian's high school out there in Alabama.
Him and Corey have been out there at least once, I believe.
Yeah, definitely.
And you mentioned that high school, Benjamin Russell High School in Alabama. Who went there again? Terrell Owens, a good friend of the Colorado Buffaloes program. So that's another kind of connection. I'm sure T.O. has been in, Cederian's ear if they do have a relationship that that's where you need to be.
If not, it sounds like they might be real soon.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, he's wrapping it up. 247 has him scheduled today to officially visit Alabama.
Interesting.
He started his last Friday official visit to Auburn. Florida, Georgia, of course, Colorado. Who's the 6th team? LSU, right?
Clemson.
And from what I'm seeing on 247, I don't know if Clemson is a real player in this.
I don't know if they are either.
It doesn't appear that way.
If it was to me, I'm thinking it's just the Alabama schools in Colorado.
That's what I would say.
Alabama, Auburn, and Colorado. So
247 has been pretty consistent on him sticking in Alabama. Oh, we'll definitely talk about that, Kiggs.
It's an interesting comment from Cordox there. I didn't see that. Did you see this?
Cordox says, Brett College's mom tweeted this at Corey. You are one of my reasons, coach. I absolutely loved getting to know you through this recruiting process. You are a true gift. Love that.
Eyeball emojis. Yeah, for sure. I mean, not surprised. It seems like a lot of people who are able to interact with Coach Phillips have that similar kind of sentiment.
Corey's great, man.
He really is.
And I think you saw a lot, particularly with Omarion, Draylon, and Cam. When he calls his shot, man, you become one of his kids almost.
Bro, and it was so dope. Speaking of that, you brought up Omarion, and obviously you're talking about Corey Phillips. Omarion was on a podcast with our guy Darius Sanders, right? And there was a part where Corey told Darius to ask Omarion specifically about something where it was the backpack drive. So when Coach Phillips was recruiting Omarion out of high school, he was at his high school and he told him we gonna come back here when you gonna get your number retired. You're gonna get your jersey retired here at this high school, and we gonna have a backpack drive for the kids here at the school. When you do what you gonna do at Colorado. And so whenever they're at practice or whatever, Coach Corey would just say hey, remember the backpack drive? As a little motivation. It's just those little things, bro, that go a long way when you're able to really, develop a relationship with somebody that, spans multiple years. And you get results like that where it's real family. It's not player coach, recruiter coach. It's that's fam.
No doubt. You love to see it, man. Can Cederian be one of those next guys? Can he be the next Jordan Seaton / Julian Lewis, if you will? The way I see it, this program up until obviously this year had two just foundational pillars in Shedeur and Travis.
Right.
There were a lot of other big ones. Cam, Jordan obviously became one. Shiloh. I mean, you can throw a lot of guys out there who were like that, but those were the foundational. They were the cornerstones. They were what it was all built around. Now it's obviously Julian and Jordan. Could a wide receiver enter that conversation if Cederian Morgan commits and becomes a Buff? Does he automatically enter that kind of air, if you will?
I think typically a receiver wouldn't, but Cederian Morgan would. He's that type of superstar talent, I believe. I mean, obviously a true 5-star, all the top programs in college football want this young man as a part of their program. And obviously with Colorado being near the top of his recruitment list, he would be the Julian Lewis of this class, the Jordan Seaton of this class. And Coach Prime has gotten one of you like to bring him Cormani even in the 2023 class.
Absolutely.
You kind of have to. He was that caliber of recruit that normally wouldn't land in a place like Colorado, but he did because of Coach Prime and what he was building. And that would be the same thing with Cederian. And I just think too, maybe a receiver by himself wouldn't be as impactful, but when you pair him with a superstar quarterback like Julian Lewis, that's when it kind of becomes bigger than just adding a big name, high, caliber receiver. It's like you have potentially something really special on your hands on the offensive side of the ball, because, we know they're going to get DBs, and I feel like, a 5-star cornerback is coming eventually as well. But this is how you do it. Obviously, you got to build up the trenches, and that's what we're all expecting this program to take the next step in on the recruiting side. Really dial in on the trenches on both sides of the ball. But, you had a Travis Hunter, you've seen what a superstar caliber receiver can do, and especially paired with an elite quarterback. Yeah. You've seen that firsthand with Shedeur and Travis, what that could do for, a program, for a season. And I can see Julian and Cederian having a similar impact.
I mean, it's the 3 foundational P's, if you will: passer, pass catcher, pass protector. With all 3 of them, it'd be all 5 stars, and it'd be a great building block. I mean, of course, Jordan in the trenches, and that's obviously, like you said, that's the main focus moving forward. I mean, running back you could probably throw in there too at this point, just trying to find a running game. But those 3 foundational guys, I mean, you can do so much when you have those 3.
You have a elite quarterback, an elite left tackle, an elite receiver. I mean, that's 3 of 11 that you are set at, to say the least.
Yeah.
And from there, you're just kind of filling in the spaces, the interior offensive line, adding a running back, which I assume I'm expecting Marshall Faulk at some point to lock in a dog at that running back room. And obviously it's been early, right? He hasn't even had a season under his belt yet as a college football coach. So we're not going to expect instant results here, but I think at some point it's safe to expect that a big time running back is going to come through Boulder here.
I mean, let's talk about that. I was gone when that happened. When KJ Edwards committed to Texas A&M.
Yeah,
everyone needs to relax. First off, second off, nothing has changed. Literally nothing has changed. The objective has stayed the same.
Yeah,
and everything is still in front of CU in terms of not just the season, but recruiting wise. Like, go out there and win. It's the same message it's been the last 3 years. Just go out there and win, and you will make changes in the recruiting landscape, and guys will catch on and potentially change their minds, or you'll catch on to new blue chip recruits.
Exactly.
Like, if you just win, everything takes care of itself. And we've talked a lot this offseason about how we like this roster. We like the makeup of this team. I mean, you win, just putting a number out there, 8+ games. I mean, you did your job pretty much, and you can do everything in your power to recruit a kid, to go visit him, make him feel loved, make his family feel loved, sell him on Boulder, if you will, all that stuff. And at the end of the day, he could still pick another school, and it's not on CU and the coaches and everything at Colorado. It's just not. Like, sometimes it's not for everyone. So we just need to relax. Especially, I mean, we saw in the portal this offseason too. Like, guys don't come to CU. It's like, oh my God. It's like they're allowed to just go somewhere else too. Like, it's okay.
100%. Relax is a good suggestion for some of the people out there, especially when it comes to recruiting, because like we're on like year 2 or year 3 of like seeing how this recruiting staff operates, and like people who are, nervous or, kind of just caught off guard by the fact that there are only currently 2 recruits committed in this 2026 class. This time last year, on this day last year, Colorado had 3 recruits in the 2025 class. One of them decommitted later, and Alex Graham. So 2 really true commits. The same amount last year is the same amount you have this year. And that's really because a lot of these recruits want to see how you do.
This is what Julian wanted to figure out.
This is what
Jordan wanted to figure out. This isn't
what,
new.
And this is what Breck told us and Deacon told us on the show. Like, we want to see, what things look like before you commit to, we're talking about KJ Edwards.
Yes.
I think he's going to have another decision to make when Texas A&M inevitably goes 5-4 again this year.
Entering November.
So he's the door, again, talking specifically about KJ Edwards, the door is not closed on him. The book is not closed on KJ Edwards in his recruitment, because we've seen many a times at multiple positions, just because you commit to a school like Texas A&M that's throwing a lot of money around, don't mean that's where you're going to end up.
And even if he sticks with his commitment, we've talked about it since we talked about KJ Edwards. He said that it'd be very hard for him to leave the state of Texas.
100%.
And we've said the same thing about Cederian. Like, I'm not
Right. Yeah.
we're not trying to like gas these guys up just to like, let you down in the chat and the listeners and all. Like, it's just how it goes sometimes, really. I mean, you have to, I think, still get excited about these blue chip recruits. You still have to, I think Buff Nation and this fan base, one of the powers they have is on social media. It's 100%. Just how present they are. And if you guys give them that attention, show them that attention, like, again, even if you don't get the initial target, like that, it's just putting in that body of work, if you will. Like,
yeah,
other recruits see that, man. They take notice of it. So I don't know.
And the best recruits, I mean, last year, Julian was in the middle of the season, November. The year before that, Jordan was December, like late into the cycle.
So was Cormani.
Yeah, and it's June, y'all.
Yes.
It's June.
Well, and that's the other thing that I wanted to say. Like, I just think we're all bored.
There's nothing else going on.
Exactly.
I think something RK said yesterday, that was the first time I heard it. He was completely right. Game day, college football, it's the best day.
Yeah.
Every other day of the week or day of the year, it sucks.
Yeah. I mean,
and he's lucky right about that.
He is. It is a headache. It has become a headache, but look, we're all just bored. We're waiting for football season. We don't have to fight with each other.
And again, it's not like they not getting elite dudes on campus too.
Yes.
There are elite dudes coming through Boulder, damn near every week.
100%
on the recruiting side of things. And yes, would we like to see more closes and more commitments? Sure. But
always,
right.
Yes.
But there's time.
All right, let's take our first break. We'll kind of wrap up recruiting and get to a bunch of other stuff on the other side.
Shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Monarch Money, man. Hey, sometimes it's tough tracking where our money goes, tracking finances, and some of the just, financial blind spots that come with, eating out, delivery and whatnot. One thing that I would just call it wasting money on is just these random just subscriptions, like for Netflix here.
They're the worst.
Hulu there.
Getting caught in a free trial.
Yeah, exactly. And forgetting to cancel it. It's just, keeping track of all these, like I said, subscriptions and whatnot. But Monarch Money is the type of app that could help you manage your finances, to help you, build the life you actually want. Because Monarch makes managing money simple, even for our busy lives. You can track your spending, your savings, and investments effortlessly so you can focus on what matters most, which is making your biggest life goals a reality. Monarch Money is the finance tool people actually love. I don't know if y'all knew this, but it was actually named Wall Street Journal's best budgeting app of 2025. It's a top recommended personal finance app by users and experts with over 30,000 5-star reviews. So get control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use code DNVR at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code DNVR. Hell
yeah. Shout out Monarch Money. New partner alert, though. I think at least you guys haven't done this yet.
I think you're right, bro.
Shout out to our friends over at Cake Mortgage. Here's the thing. Us being content creators, right? There's a lot of hoops sometimes you have to jump through. I mean, even if you just are your own boss, you're self-employed, you own a business or whatever, you kind of know what we're talking about here, especially when it comes to getting a mortgage and trying to get a home all on your own. This is where our friends in Cake Mortgage come in. If you are a regular employee of a company, you get a W-2 and your income shows on your tax return. Traditional lenders love this because it's simple, but it's more complicated for business owners. By maximizing legitimate business deductions and expenses, business owners can reduce their taxable income and keep more money in the business. That means that their tax returns show little income. Most lenders don't understand this type of complex income, so they get denied for home loans and refinancing. If that sounds familiar, if you own your own business and you've been looking at a home and you're walking into some of these roadblocks, hit up our friends over at Cake Mortgage. Cake Mortgage, quote, equal housing lender, NMLS number 1734623, licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. Piece of cake.
Hey, you can have your cake and eat it too over at Cake Mortgage, man. Shout out to new partners.
Those guys are cool, though,
Hell
too.
Yeah.
It was cool getting to know them. Okay, so wrapping up recruiting here. That's a good question, Ivan. You can start that one, Alyssa. We can do that later. We've already kind of talked about it, and Ivan's question kind of relates to it. Cederian becoming one of those foundational players, right?
Mm-hmm.
As you mentioned, we've had a lot of visits, a lot of blue chippers come through.
Yeah.
Targets have emerged this offseason. Quickly, a couple of lists, or a quick list, I guess, of guys who you would pound the table for. You want them. They need to be Buffs. You got to pull out all the stops. Who are you throwing out there?
So this may or may not be a fill in the blank question.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to.
No, we'll save it
this.
then.
Let's
we'll definitely save it then.
Bet.
There's a lot of names to get to, though. A lot of 5-stars involved. Obviously, blue chippers on the offensive line, local kids. I mean, there's a lot to get to.
I want to talk about this one thing here quickly. Somebody who was here visiting this past weekend alongside, the Polynesian boys and whatnot. That was Xavier Payne, an offensive lineman who's committed to Florida State currently. He talked to John Garcia Jr. at Rivals earlier today, and he had some really dope quotes. One of them, Xavier Payne, this is somebody we talked about earlier this week, 6'7", 330 pounds from down there in Florida. Again, committed to Florida State since December, but he was here in Boulder. And I guess he talked to John Garcia at Rivals. This is Payne. He goes, "It was great. The best part was being able to sit with the offensive line coaches and truly build that connection while getting to see their plan for me and how I fit into the program. As I was sitting in the room, it really hit me how much NFL experience is on the staff. So not only do they know how to get there because they did it, but also because they have so many in their years of coaching." He goes, I meshed really well there. Don't count them out of my recruitment, says Xavier Payne. And this is another cool thing I just tweeted here before the show. He got the link up with Jordan Seaton, which wasn't even planned. He goes, me and Seaton actually got on the board for a little and compared my high school plays and showed me how they would run it. We both love the game deeply and love talking football. Him sitting with me wasn't because of the coaches. He had just popped up in the offensive line room to hang a poster up, and we just hit it off. Jordan Seaton doing Jordan Seaton things, like being a leader. He said, "Oh, you offensive, you here on a visit? Oh, what's up? Like, you feel me? Like that's what leaders do. That's what special players and people do." So again, let Xavier Payne tell it. Don't count Colorado out of his recruitment. This will be another big ad, and I think he also mentions here too that they see him. Yeah, he goes, they visualize me as a tackle. They told me exactly what I have to fix to become a great tackle rather than interior. So they see him as a tackle potentially. That bookend to
he's 6'7", 320. He's a tackle. I don't know what we're talking about here, honestly.
For sure. So
he starts at left tackle for his high school too.
Makes sense. So that was dope. It'd be another great ad. Again, we got to attack them trenches, both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, this is a big one to watch. He's a high-ranked 3-star, 788th overall player, 67th offensive tackle, Edison High School, Miami, Florida. Again, 6'7", 320. Sheesh. We'll keep an eye out. Let's go to the videos. You go first. What did you have?
We can save that for later.
Okay. Well, then, did you watch Well Off yesterday?
I did.
So the boys are out there kind of working. Obviously, it's PLPs, player-led practices.
Yeah.
So a lot of 7-on-7. Julian was out there spinning it. Kaidon was out there too. Saw Staub tossing around. I think this is Juju. But look at Draylon. It's Kaidon?
Yeah, it's Kaidon throwing.
Draylon is
head taps. Head tap. You can see
play it
it's
again.
Kaidon
Play it
right
again.
there. You can see it's
Oh
Kaidon.
yeah, I see it. He and Juju look kind of similar.
No, they do for sure. I mean, that's just a good throw and even better. It's good coverage too by Ivan Yates.
Of course.
But there's just nothing you can do for a good throw and an even better catch. I mean, the elevation too from Draylon. Again, bro, something just changed in I was already super high on that young man coming off his freshman campaign, but just seeing him in the IPF during that pro day with Shador throwing to him and the rest of those NFL receivers and him looking like he was about to get drafted.
Yep.
Just like something just changed in my mind where I'm like, nah, this young man is different.
He's
and
a weapon.
we just saw, him scratch the surface as a true freshman. And he's being coached the right way. He has the right mindset to continue to develop and improve and not just rest on his laurels of what he might accomplish as a true freshman. It's gonna be Miller time, bro. Because again, even listening to Omarion talk to our guy Darius yesterday, I'm like, ooh, them boys gonna go crazy.
I feel the exact same. Not to derail us again too much, but Jermaine, yes, we are fundraising for Big Brothers Big Sisters all this week. So all the shows are going to be, they're going to have the donate button on the stream, so you can donate directly to them. It is Spirit Week. Should have let off with that. Today is Big Brothers Big Sisters Day. So if you're going to donate, make it today, man.
Today's the day.
Invest in the future.
We got a big goal that we're trying to reach, and with everybody's help, we'll definitely be able to get there, because we're trying to impact the youth in a positive way, in the best way we can. So this is a great way to do it here, supporting our little bros and little sisters.
Facts. Okay, so Draylon looking great.
Hell yeah.
Go check out that Omarion interview too.
One other thing too, since we're talking about Omarion here. He also, Darius asked him, I think this was a fan question, but Darius asked him, he was like, how close were you to ever transferring? And Omarion was like, I'm going to keep it a bean, G. I was close. I thought about it. And he took it back. He was like the first 4 games this past year, he was like, I barely saw the field.
Yep.
Right? And like people speculated about that. And but he said, he was like, I just had the right people in my corner, to keep my mind focused and, knowing what I'm really here to do and what's potentially in front of me if I stay the course. So that was good to hear, but it was also kind of eye-opening to hear that, sure. those thoughts happen, and it's not surprising. Oh yeah, because he was like, man, I know who I am. I should be on the field, and I understand that there's Travis and Jimmy and LeJante and Will, but Omarion feels like he belongs in that group, and a lot of people feel like he belongs in that group.
I mean, we feel that way, I think.
I mean, yeah, he would have hurt a lot of people in Buff Nation if he would have acted on those thoughts. But this is 2025 is like I said, it's Miller time. Yeah, whichever one you want to pick.
Both of them.
Both of them for sure.
Honestly, that doesn't shock me to hear that. I think a lot of people would be surprised to hear about the amount of players who think about the transfer portal.
Right.
But let's make it clear, it's very different thinking about the transfer portal than entering the transfer portal and literally uprooting your whole life and moving potentially across the country.
100%.
So, yeah. I'm not surprised. I mean, he spoke about it, like his mom, how she came and stayed out there with him after his injury and stuff last year. Right. It seems like he's got a great support system, and obviously he came to Colorado for a reason back in the day. I'm glad he's going to see it through, because this is a big year for him.
Hell yeah.
All right, we got a couple more minutes. Let's do one of the graphics, the Kelley Ford graphics. Doesn't matter which one. So Kelley Ford does analytics, college football, numbers and stuff. He's got a bunch of them. He's going through kind of previewing the conferences right now. Of course, these ones hit the timeline, I think, over the weekend-ish.
Yeah, maybe late last week, but I think the first one was late last week, and the second one was over the weekend.
So before we get into these, real quick,
who the hell's Kelley Ford, Jake?
Kelley Ford's been doing it a minute, man. He's got his own site. He's just been running these numbers, and that's the thing. People are going to get, obviously, we'll get into what's actually on the screen right there and talk about it. And I don't think this is like Kelley Ford, actually, this is like analytics and numbers he's running.
He has like a formula type.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before you get too upset at him, that I would just put that as a disclaimer. That being said, this is projected wins, percent chance to win at least blank regular season games based on his current Kelley Ford ratings going all the way from 12 to 0. There are 4 clear teams at the top, at least according to his numbers. All 4 of them averaging 8 wins on the current ratings and simulations, all that stuff. Kansas State, Texas Tech, Arizona State, BYU. So all pretty heavily in the 9-win mark. I don't know. I mean, I think it could win you the conference theoretically, but you're going to need double-digit wins to win the Big 12, pretty much. They're the leaders there. Colorado, though, 11th behind UCF. Colorado should not be behind UCF in anything this year. Nothing.
Yeah, man. It's like, what do you even base that on? Like, what does UCF have going for them as a football program here in the year 2025?
That's the thing is, I truly don't know.
What do you point to? And that's, I think, the most glaring. I don't think there's, obviously, I would have Colorado higher, a lot higher than 11th there. But it's like I can see the theory behind a few of those teams being ahead of Colorado. UCF is just not one of them at all.
No, not at all.
The one thing, though, if we can pull that back up real quickly, maybe we got to hit we can get to this other side of the break, but
no, you go ahead, hit it real quick.
If we can just pull that up again real quickly, Alyssa, I just wanted to point out just like how quickly or how closely
the other one, sorry.
By these ratings, he has 11 teams at least winning 6 games.
Yeah.
11 teams within like 3 wins, you know, in that 9-6 range.
I mean, this is
it's
just
like
the conference.
Stupid parity. Like the Big 12 is like, that's why it's so fun. You know what I'm saying? And even the other one that we're going to show up, like pretty much he has the entire league having at least a 60% chance of winning at least 3 conference games. Nobody with a better than a 43% chance to win 7. So like there's just stupid parity. And like nobody knows what's going to happen in the Big 12 this year. Yep. Nobody. Just like nobody knew what was going to happen last year.
Totally, man.
Everybody had Utah and Oklahoma State up top and Arizona State at the bottom, BYU at the bottom, and that was flipped.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the usual suspects. Obviously, K-State, ASU, BYU, Utah, if you want to throw in there. I mean, obviously, last year's down year, and then Tech, a lot of hype.
What's your biggest issue with this other than UCF? Is there a big
Kansas
issue? Yeah, I agree. See, I didn't even see them there. Jesus Christ, what are we doing?
I'm sorry. I just K-State has a better quarterback. Texas Tech, I'll take their quarterback. ASU, BYU, total. I mean, sure, we don't know. Utah, I'm taking them. TCU, probably taking them. I'm probably taking Rocco too.
Like,
definitely taking Sawyer.
Yeah, like what's even the thought process behind Kansas ahead of Iowa State and Baylor? I don't see that.
I don't know. The Kansas hype is honestly one of the most confusing things I've ever seen.
Oh my God, man.
I don't know. We'll touch on the other graph here in a second. That one was projected wins. So, all right, let's take a break. Shout out to the homies over at Empire today. Home field / floor / ice advantages.
Oh, yeah.
Biggest advantages in sports. Colorado has a big one with the altitude, obviously, right? It's what everyone talks about when they come to Boulder, when they come play in Denver. You know, how are you going to deal with the altitude? Maybe not the case in your home, but you can still take care of your home floor with our friends at Empire today. Whether you're switching to carpet, tile, hardwood, or any other way around there, they've got you covered. That's all they do. That's all they know is flooring. Don't go to the big box stores where someone's going to try and sell you on plumbing or something for your yard or whatever. No, if you need to work on your floor, just hit up the best in the business over at Empire today. You can do the virtual floor designer, basically just see a ton of options right from the comfort of your own home. And you can also schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DNVR. Again, a $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Empire Today. Visit Empire Today /DNVR for full details.
And shout out to the homies over at First Bank, y'all. Listen, if y'all are wanting to upgrade your entire banking situation, go check out our friends over at First Bank, because whether you're on the road, at home, or maybe even somewhere in between, First Bank makes banking easy. It makes it secure and so convenient. Their mobile banking app allows you to check balances, pay friends, and manage your money anytime, anywhere. But this is the best part here, y'all. If you open a new First Bank checking account today, you could earn $300. That's $300. We all love some money. Mm-hmm. First Bank is all about helping you stay on track. Their tools make it simple to stay in control of your finances without the hassle. So no matter where life takes you, First Bank gives you the freedom to bank how and when it works best for you. If you're ready for better banking and the chance to earn a little extra, head over to efirstbank.com/bonus. That's efirstbank.com/bonus to open your account. Bank how you want, when you want with First Bank. Certain restrictions and requirements apply. Member FDIC.
I don't know what I said, Michael, but yes, pause. Sure.
Anyway, so we'll go with it.
Can you pull up the other graph from Kelley Ford, please? So this one, that last one was projected wins. This is projected standings here.
Jesus.
So this is going by conference wins in. Okay, so this makes more sense. Obviously 9, the most you can win in conference is only 9 conference games. Only one team above 1%, and that's K-State, 6.2. Pretty big gap there, actually, into just, the context of this conference. It's obviously very close again. 6 teams given a chance to go undefeated in conference play: Baylor, TCU, Texas Tech, BYU, Arizona State, Kansas State. Colorado, once again, though, down in 11th behind UCF. Basically, I mean, straight up, whatever Kelley Ford's doing, whatever he's running, the model just likes UCF more than Colorado,
right,
which is insane.
And I don't know, with a new coach, with uncertainty at quarterback, coming off a bad season.
Mm-hmm.
I just really don't get it. So for that reason, I'm really not even paying too much attention to this. I ain't gonna lie this year. But
Colorado does actually have a higher chance to get to 7 games somehow. That's weird.
Than
UCF and Cincinnati. Interesting.
That is odd. But I guess I'm expecting, because this looks like a lot of what we've seen from projections among, no matter the site. And I'm expecting this to kind of be what the official Big 12 preseason kind of poll looks like.
Oh, yeah.
From the media members. Colorado in that 9 to 11 range.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Would not be surprised at all.
You know what, Cornhole? Yeah, you're right.
What? I mean, we're already here. Right. We might as well do it.
Bro, I can't think that we would literally pick them to win more than 4 games.
No. While you pull that up, though, real quick as well, too, this team, and we've seen it the last 2 years, and we've kind of talked about it then, too. They're just hard to project from a national standpoint. Even us, we have our questions and things that it's we'll see. And it's not just 3 things. It's quite a few things with this team. So there is a lot of unknown that comes with that. And it was 9 wins last year. It was a great season. You got to do that consistently to get the benefit of the doubt when you're in those situations. Colorado just isn't there yet. So I think we're all conditioned to all that by now, water off the back of a duck type of thing. It is what it is at this point. No one's going to respect Colorado till the games are being played.
Nah, bro. So they open up with what should be 2 wins: Jacksonville State and North
That's
Carolina
a good team,
A&T.
though. Jacksonville State.
They lost Rich Rod.
They did.
And they lost Reggie Hughes.
They got our guy Charles Kelly, though, and Trevor Woods.
Fair enough. So, hey, I mean, I guess we'll find out about UCF.
They've won
week
8 games the last 3 years.
You're right. No, you're right. So they open up with Jacksonville State and North Carolina A&T, and then they host North Carolina. And then they go to K-State, and then they host Kansas. I'm going to give them 2-0 out the gate, a loss to North Carolina and K-State. I'm going to say they beat Kansas.
Okay.
Because why not?
Sure.
I'm going to say they lose to Cincinnati there. That puts them at 3-3.
Okay.
I'm going to give them West Virginia because it's their homecoming.
Totally. Why not?
They're 4-3.
Okay.
They're going to lose at Baylor.
Yes. What do you do there?
I'm gonna give them Houston game because it's their space game.
Okay.
That's 5, right? 5-4. I think that's 5-4. They're gonna lose at Tech. And then they got Oklahoma State for senior night. You know what? I can be talked into 6 wins for this team.
Stop. Bro. Stop.
No, you're right. Because I just have, like I said, I have nothing to point to. Other quarterbacks.
Literally nothing.
Oh, they're going to have a good running game. They're going to have an elite. I can't say any of that. So and the coach, Scott Frost, I'm pretty sure was in our D tier when we did coaches, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or F or whatever. Very at the bottom. So
I mean, look, he did have his most success ever here, but
maybe that's what I'm seeing. Maybe that's what is being baked into the Kelley Ford ratings. They do kind of have a favorable schedule. I can see some wins.
I don't really. I mean, I guess I don't know if it's that much more favorable than Colorado's though.
Colorado's is definitely tougher.
It is, sure. GT is just a tougher game than all that.
Right. So they open with
100%.
And I think they have a tougher Big 12 slate too.
They have some favorable games at home for sure. But in terms of just non-conference, Delaware, I'll respect Delaware. They had a good year last year. They're going up a level though.
Right. Right.
Who knows? Maybe they are a bowl team, but Colorado should win that game. Colorado should definitely beat Wyoming. Like these are all at home too. You don't even have to go on the road. Like it's not even 100%. So
100%. That'll be interesting though.
We should do a chart. Maybe we will. Yeah. All right, let's go to fill in the blank, and then we'll finish everything else. All right, this is all you. Scotty made this one, so Scotty's gonna run it.
Fill in the blank. How many Colorado receivers will have 100-yard games this season? 5 last year.
Okay.
The 3 who were drafted: Travis, LeJohntay, Jimmy, plus
and
Miller
Omarion.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Draylen and Omarion.
Oh, okay, both
each
of them.
So yeah, 5 last year.
Have?
The Utah game.
That's right.
I think he went for like 109 and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So Will didn't. He had a 99-yard game, which
that's frustrating.
Yeah, that is frustrating. So 5 receivers last year. How many do you think will have at least one 100-yard receiving game this year?
I'm gonna kind of count them out here.
Okay.
I'm gonna give the Millers, obviously.
Sure.
Draylen and Omarion. I'm gonna give Sincere.
Yep.
I'll give JoJo, but JoJo to me is kind of like Will in play style. So it wouldn't shock me. Also, the other thing with JoJo, he's young. I don't think we talk about that enough, and he had a really good November last year. I think there's still a lot of room for him to grow. So if he doesn't have a big year, that wouldn't surprise me, but it wouldn't alarm me. So that puts me at...
In the chat talking about 5,
3.
6, 7.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I'll give Cam Michael one just because of the speed.
Okay.
Who am I missing? Who do we got here?
Hakeem potentially, Jack Estera, Isaiah Harge potentially, either the freshman. Those are probably main options there.
So then I'll give those 4: the Millers, Sincere, and Cam.
JoJo. Or not JoJo.
But then I'll give a 5 between JoJo, Jack Estera, Hakeem. Just so 6. If I'm feeling really good, 6 is the number, I think. But I'll go 5 because that was it last year, right? 5.
5 last year.
I'll stick with that.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think 5 is the number because I think you get the both of the Millers for sure. I think Sincere as well for sure. Mm-hmm. I'm actually pretty confident in JoJo having at least one big game.
I mean, totally.
He did it 3 times in the month of November last year as a freshman. Granted, it was at Tulsa, but I'm gonna definitely give JoJo. He'd be my 4th, and I would say one of the freshmen or Cam, or one of the new guys, would be that 5th. So. Yeah, I would say 5 is the answer. And man, Jack is there, bro. I'm gonna keep saying it till people wake up. We'll see.
That's a good one though. That's a good question. I should be honestly tracked more.
Okay. Yeah, Stevie David facts. Any one of those kids can get the hot hand facts.
I mean, totally. That's where I'm at. It's just not everyone's gonna have the hot hand when you have a 12-game season. So
definitely. What's up next, Alyssa? How many players will have 3+ sacks this season? That number last year
was 4.
Was 4
or 5 if you count Amari McNeil's 3.5.
Actually, no, it was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
3 plus. I see. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
6 guys last year. Sammy Sachs did it. Amari McNeil, Keaton Wade, Tajay McCoy, Arden Walker, and BJ Green all had at least 3+ sacks last year. How many guys would do it this year?
Okay, give me Arden for sure. That's just a complete lock. Give me Sammy Sachs again. So give me 2 guys coming back. I mean, no disrespect to Amari. It's just defensive linemen. You're not really expecting sacks. So I'll give them. But we had 2. Only one of those guys last year. I'll give him 2, so that puts me at 4. Am I missing an edge rusher? Wade, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is out there?
Your boy Quincy?
Quincy.
One of the freshmen?
Freshmen. I'm going to say 5 again. So one fewer than last year. But honestly, Colorado, I mean, Arden could just totally double or triple his sack number. You know what I mean?
I could definitely see him with a 9, 10 sack season for sure.
Of course. So
I think I'm gonna go 6 or 7 here. Honestly, I love Amari to do it again. I think Jaheim gets to at least 3. That's 2. I think Arden and Keaton are locks, and Sam is a lock. That's 5 right there.
Yeah.
And I think one of the freshmen get there for 6.
Totally.
Which would be crazy. And I'm expecting this team to be, I mean, it'll be difficult, I think, to lead the conference in sacks again, but I expect them to be top 3 at least. Especially with the, Sapp and Pecco and Hilo and what should be another really good secondary. I'm expecting this pass rush to be really good again.
Julius, you're right. It is better, I think.
Yeah. So deep, dude. And again, one of those guys, one of those interior guys can get it as well, I believe. Like Toffee, Big Quinn,
that's
Tavian
where I think
Coleman.
they make the biggest jump this year. I mean, they've had edge rushers the last 2 years.
Facts.
Now you add in Jaheim Otis, Tavian Coleman, like all these guys. Like, yeah. Damn.
What's up next, Alyssa?
All right.
Here it is. What we kind of teased earlier. Jake, who's your top target in the 2026 class for the Colorado Buffaloes?
Besides Cederian Morgan, I'm going to add that qualifier because I think he's clearly number 1 at this point.
That's fair.
It's a great question, and I'm still going to say KJ Edwards.
I like it.
I'm still going to say KJ Edwards.
I like it a lot.
That quote, I can't let that go. And I'm not going to let it go until he signs a national letter of intent.
I don't blame you, bro. Because again, we talk about it a lot, but that's a quote that, I don't know. I feel like you just don't say that, get that out on a whim.
Totally.
Maybe in this day and age, sometimes maybe you do. Maybe that is just something you say, just for the sake of saying it because it sounds cool.
CJ Sadler's a good one too, actually.
He really is. And he's visiting this weekend.
I'll save that one for Scotty. Of course, he's up there. But to go back to KJ real quick, too, like, would it surprise you if, like, week 5, KJ Edwards is coming on a visit to see Colorado for the game day?
I'm expecting it.
Exactly.
I'm expecting him to.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah, Northside knows J. Crew would typically be my answer. I'm very much still high on him. I mean, that true blue chip edge rusher who I think is a future NFL guy. I would love J. Crew. One guy that I'm gonna throw out 2 guys here though.
Okay.
And the 2 guys we talked about a little bit this week. Tufanua Ionatana Umakais, aka T.I.
Hell yeah. Let's go, bro.
From right here in Colorado. Depending on which site you look at, it's either Deacon Schmidt is the number 1 recruit in Colorado or T.I. here. This is a 4-star recruit, a defensive lineman, 6'3", 300 plus pounds. Like, this is somebody, and I read his scouting report on the show earlier this week, but this just has to get you fired up. He projects as a classic nose guard who could also play the 3-tech, but is a surefire interior lineman who could do some damage. The body mass to take on a double team, hold his ground, and still get a push up the field. You can't move him, and he shows pass rush ability as well. The other guy that I would have to throw in here is can we pull up this video, Alyssa, real quick? Another guy we talked about this week. Manoa Papusa. I need a big boy like that who can do that. In the interior line, put folks on a
circling,
just line it back up.
Hey,
yes.
run it back.
And I really respect the offensive lineman because he was like, no, forget that. You ain't gonna put me on my ass. We go run it back. And he was like, all right, I'll just do it a different way this time. But I mean, will you imagine this at the
oh my God.
Right at the point of attack. Like
just
the
walks
power.
to the cone.
Yes, bro. 6'2", 6'3", 330 pounds. Like, and there's another clip where he literally does a rep like this at defensive line, turns around, lines up at left tackle, gets in the 3-point stance, and locks the dude.
That's impressive. That's very impressive.
Hashtag need. It's one of those dudes for sure for me.
That's a great one. No, I mean, him or Deacon, I think you could totally argue you got to start bringing the best in Colorado, or keeping the best in Colorado. I know.
What's up next for us, Alyssa?
Ooh.
Excluding Colorado, who has the best head coach quarterback combo in the Big 12?
Excluding Colorado.
Because this is something we briefly talked about. Like, that's how I look at football, bro.
Sure, totally.
Do you got a head coach? You got a quarterback that we can trust and believe in? If so, you're in a good spot, and you're in a better spot than 95% of football programs. It's important. I think Colorado has one of the best too, obviously, arguably the best in the Big 12.
Yeah,
to obviously say the least. But talking about other guys, who would you go with?
So I think there's a top like 4 or 5 that's pretty clear. Colorado's in there. I think you put K-State in there. I think you put ASU in there. I think you put Utah in there. I think you put Iowa State in there. And from that group, I'm going to pick Utah.
I would not put Iowa State in that group. I would put them in the tier below.
Okay.
My answer, I agree with everything else you said, though. I think my answer would be K-State.
Mm-hmm.
The combination of Climate and Avery Johnson. And also, too, we had talked about, Avery Johnson, like, there was, like, rumors of Tennessee wanting him after Nico. That has been confirmed by Adam Rittenberg at ESPN. He wrote that in the story recently. Like, that was, like, a real thing that Tennessee was checking in on him.
The least
when Nico.
Totally. Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah. But, so, yeah, I think that's what I would probably go with. BYU is kind of a question mark because we don't know what's
exactly.
Happen
That's
with that.
the thing. I mean, and even then too, honestly, like Retzloff did some things last year, but as a pure talent at quarterback, I don't think he's, in the Dan Pierre, Sawyer Robertson, Caden / Juju range.
But yeah, I think by season's end, it could very well be Baylor or Utah.
I kind of love the chat saying Baylor.
Yeah.
Put some respect on Baylor.
Facts.
They're in that conversation too, definitely. Is that it?
I think we got one more.
Ooh, good question.
What will be Colorado's overall on the new College Football 26 video game that drops in less than a month?
Yep, we get a deep dive tomorrow, I think, too. Give me 83. That's what EA will rate them, which I think is pretty decent.
Do you remember what they were last year to open the year?
I mean, they obviously went top 25 in the offense, people lost their damn minds. I want to say they were like 86, 87 off the top of my head. Top rated team would probably be Clemson or Ohio State this year, and I
can see them diving it to Texas. Them just
Texas
juicing
too,
up Arches
sure.
overall just because.
But I don't think there's a 99 team this year. That's the point.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I can see I can see them just going with the straight up 85.
Yeah.
Who's going to be the best or the highest rated player after Seat?
That will be Kaidon Salter.
I hope they do him right with his rating.
I hope so too. DJ McKinney's a good one too.
Yeah. Hell yeah. No, it's going to be fun. I'm excited to play it when it comes out. Because I didn't play it much at all last year, obviously.
Oh, no. We'll make content for it.
Hell yeah.
I would love to say Draylon. I don't think that they'd have him up there that high yet.
Give it to about week 6.
I'd love to say Arden. I don't trust them to really properly rate him.
Give it to about week 4.
So that was good. Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. What else do we got? We got a few more. Do we have time today or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a couple more for you.
Okay.
What would you say? Me and RK talked about this earlier in the week. What's the most intriguing position battle to you going into fall camp?
Position group as a whole or like singular position?
Position battle.
Okay.
So competing for a starting spot or the majority of
the headliner's got to be the right tackle, but I will put out there for myself cornerback 2.
Those are my main 2 for sure.
Who's gonna either Tayon or RJ? I mean, Preston Hodge would be cornerback 2 on pure talent, I think. But he's gonna play in the slot.
It's gonna be that third corner on the field a lot. Mm-hmm. And me and RK talked about it. Even the loser, so to speak, of that quarterback 3 battle is not no loser at all because cornerback 4 last year, Colton Hood, very valuable on the field quite a lot. So the top 4 corners are going to be really interesting. And I would even throw in Tyreek Davis, who talking about the well-out videos from like their player live practices, look like he belongs out there.
He was chippy with it too. I love that.
He was facts talking that mess. We love to see it. So Yeah, that cornerback 3 battle, that right tackle battle, I think, like I said, Larry Johnson's probably the leader in the clubhouse for that. But
I'd say so.
Phillip Houston played a lot of football last year, and let Ung tell it. He is, is close to 100%, probably as one could think at this point right now. So, and, that was Cooper Lovelace might be able to play into that competition as well. Can't forget about the freshman Cardet.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting. Running back as well. Linebacker as well.
Yeah, but
it's not really competition, right? We're expecting all those guys
it's
to be
just
involved.
running back is what it is. It's just it's a rotation. And that's the thing too. Like I could say like edge, but there's it's 6 to 8 of them who are gonna play.
Yeah.
I'll throw out defensive line too. I know it's kind of maybe along the same thing as edge.
Yeah. It's gonna be a group of them playing.
I expect Otis to be the starter, and then is it Tavion Coleman next to him? Is it Mari McNeil? Like who makes that jump? That's an intriguing one.
No doubt.
Okay, real quick, let's do the anonymous coach quotes.
Oh yeah.
So our guy, Mr. AC, anonymous coach, he's had a lot to say about Colorado over the years and going into the Big 12. We got 5 teams. He's letting it unload on damn near half the conference.
Bro, what?
And maybe we can figure out who this is. First team in the crosshairs is TCU. Our guy, anonymous coach, says, it's crazy to say this about a team who played in the national championship, but this is the season that really matters when it comes to Sonny. They built depth and recruited to fill every deficiency on that 5-win team. Now what? They have the best signing classes in the league, and that matters because they're building NIL to keep the kids they want. Thoughts?
That don't sound too bad.
Okay.
Sound pretty nice. And honestly, hold on. Are all these courtesy of Athlon Sports, bro?
Yes.
Bro. I think we need to look into them, bro.
Are they making it up?
They might be making these anonymous quotes up, bro. Swear.
No.
Because, for real.
Totally.
Because ain't no way there's, actual coaches in the Big 12 we're going to, Athlon, you're our go-to. There's just no way.
I totally get it. If this was ESPN, I'd 100% trust it more.
And we talked about it when, the anonymous was about Colorado. It's this actually doesn't even really sound like something a real human being would say.
It's AI. It's Chat GPT.
It really might be, bro. And the fact, they're probably going crazy off these. These stories for Athlon Sports are probably generating them hella views off cap.
Bro, they need all the help they can get.
Real quickly, though, on TCU. They tweeted yesterday that they got their rings for their bowl game win.
Okay.
How do we feel about that? I know we talked about that with Georgia Tech a couple weeks ago. How do we... TCU got rings for their win in the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl.
Oh, hell yeah. Let me see these.
They're kind of fire.
A Zia on there?
I don't know. But how do we feel, chat, about bowl game? How would you have felt, RG, if CSU got a rings for after the Snoop Dogg Bowl? That's what I'm saying. I don't know, bro. I don't know if I like this new trend of just
I'm not a big fan of that.
I'm not gonna hate on it, but I just don't know about it. But go ahead. What's next on the anonymous?
AC took aim at West Virginia here.
Oh, good.
I don't think they have the bodies yet on defense, especially up front. They're going to struggle on that side of the ball unless they can really jump out on offense and keep them off the field. They need to find that group of backfield workhorses for the system to run. A lot of the guys they brought with them from Jacksonville State are at other positions. Of course, that's where Rich Rod came in. So the biggest thing to watch is how fast they lock on their ball carriers and the quarterback. If that clicks, everything else will just quicker. I mean, they were a big running team last year. Makes sense.
What I heard right there is that they're going to be ass.
Fair enough.
That's what I heard.
Next, Texas Tech.
This better be juicy.
If they're not a double-digit win team this season, it will be considered a failure. It's hard to know if that's fair or if spending like this is a long-term strategy.
That's valid.
That's it for Texas Tech from our guy AC.
Is Texas Tech the team with the most pressure on them in the Big 12 this year?
100%. 100%. Utah's next.
Ooh.
There are a lot of questions here, mainly on offense. Andy Ludwig and Cam Rising are gone, and they're going with a spread and RPO scheme. It's going to look very different than what we're used to seeing from this program. Kyle Whittingham's teams are defined by their physicality, and this is going to be more of a tempo, bang approach to keep pace in the league.
What approach?
Yeah, AC's got to pause. Defensively, they're replacing a ton. That's not as concerning. The staff is great. They're consistent and good evaluators and developers of talent. They've got some dudes in that secondary.
Valid.
Last one, Iowa State. They were really banged up at linebacker last year, and they're turning over a lot of the secondary. Defense is the area where they might slip from last season. And that's actually it.
And another thing, too, it's like, why do these quotes have to be anonymous? Especially like the last three, they don't even sound bad.
I know.
Like, why would you not just want to put your name on that? So that's why I really think they just be making stuff up. Because I feel like when people see anonymous quotes, like they're expecting kind of like juicy stuff. And I'm sure that leads to more clicks just with the word anonymous being thrown in the headline or something. So,
yeah, I don't know. Overtime? We're headed to overtime real quick. Just a few more things we want to get into. So head on over to the DNVR if you're watching on your television. I think really I only have one more thing. But yeah, it's just interesting the difference of the way people talk about Colorado when there's obviously a lot of questions for a lot of these schools too.
It's going to be fun, bro. I can't wait.
We have to create a caricature of the anonymous coach. We can definitely do that.
That'd be hilarious.
Okay, last thing I want to talk about is Diego Pavia's interview.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, he took a kind of a shot at the Big Ten,
which I thought was quite funny.
which to Will Compton's face too,
Yeah,
which was
and
hilarious.
did he actually like name drop Nebraska too? Like,
I don't know if he did.
Okay.
I only saw the clip. I didn't watch the whole interview, but the quote does mention Nebraska.
okay,
He says, "You want to play with the best. You don't want to play with the Big Ten. You ignore those calls." The SEC, it's like week after week, you're going to get beat on. Pause. The Big Ten, you're going to get beat on with the Purdue and Nebraskas.
I mean, it's kind of funny though because like Vanderbilt is the Purdue and Nebraska of the SEC, so that's kind of ironic.
We'll get to that point. The other big thing that came from this, Will Compton and Taylor Lewan asked him, were you offered a bag to get into portal, basically? He said, yeah. Do you want to guess how much? You didn't see the number?
2.5.
No.
Less?
$4 to $4.5 million.
Wow. He tweaking it.
He said he was offered to transfer in conference, which
He tweaking
he
it.
could have just said Tennessee. Like,
Wait, I thought you can't do that in the SEC.
well, I guess so. This would have had to been the. I think you can't do it in the spring portal. I think it's the December portal where you can kind of do whatever.
Interesting. So yeah, I mean, it had to. I mean, You think it was for sure Tennessee? Well, they didn't have that problem in the winter, right? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm realizing now because when you mentioned earlier in the show, you mentioned something about Tennessee. I can't remember what. Something about the transfer. Oh, about Avery.
Johnson. Yeah, right.
And I just admit, like, I could just piece it together. I was like, oh, it's had to be Tennessee that offered it, but that's a good point.
I could see some other, like Arkansas, or like I can see some other. I don't know if they got a chest like that.
Alabama doing it. He's the one that took it to them. They have questions. You know, they have a young kid at quarterback potentially. Why not go try and get Diego Pavia?
Jermaine, Vandy was definitely nice last year, and so I completely understand. But I'm just saying, like in general, where I'm like, historically they have been the Nebraskas and Purdue of the SEC. But yeah, I don't know. He tripping though. Depending on who it was, bro, you got it, bro.
That's crazy.
You gave Vandy their best season, bro. Go get that bread, bro. Go get that bread.
I mean, yeah, that's crazy, but I guess respect the loyalty and once again,
like I saw the Kelley Ford ratings or whatever.
Yes.
He did it for the SEC. He had him like 12th in the.
Duh. Of course.
SEC
what are we talking about?
Would they win 8 games last year?
I think so.
8, maybe 9 with the bowl game win.
But shout out to Diego Pavia, pride of Volcano Vista High School.
In New Mexico?
New Mexico,
wow. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Diallo says Ole Miss, maybe? I could see that.
Ole Miss, I could see for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the chat and get out of here. Kiggs, all right, let's talk about it. What do we think about George Russell? George Russell is annoying, man. And I'm choosing my words carefully here.
Yeah, what a clown. that stuff he pulled this weekend, bro, I couldn't believe it.
It reeks of entitlement. And
Yes.
I don't know. It is crazy how the FIA doesn't penalize British drivers. It is interesting. Ivan asked, how much does Travis Hunter's Heisman help the Cederian Morgan recruitment? I think this is massive, actually. I think you're already starting to see that payoff.
I can see Cederian Morgan and even Juju like thinking like, why can't we be Shador and Travis reincarnated?
Literally.
Why can't we?
It's that should be what they're talking about.
All right.
No, that's massive. I think you're seeing that. Is CJ Sadler, too, who's coming up this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about this weekend's visitors tomorrow on the show. But don't sleep on CJ Sadler. I mean, he's not as highly ranked as Cederian Morgan, but this is a dynamic player as well.
Two-way player.
Yep. Everyday Jet Life says, can we get a Noel Devine interview whenever we play West Virginia? I know Prime played a big role in his life. Interesting. We can definitely
Did
try.
you know that?
I did not.
No, me neither. It's interesting.
I'm actually not. RG, do you know Noel Devine? Do you remember that name? Because I actually don't really remember that name.
He played for West Virginia back in the day. I think he was running back, I'm pretty sure. Like maybe
07 to 10. Steve Slayton was the one I remember too. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had great years in 08 and 09.
Definitely.
What's up, Joey?
They were in the Big East.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I would have got that trivia question wrong.
Really?
Yeah, I would have for sure.
That's crazy. Yeah. They were in the Big East. They were running it back then.
Bro, that just seems so long ago. Like just saying Big East football. Like that don't even sound like, that sounds like a foreign
So
concept.
this is the Big East standings in 2008. Cincinnati won the conference.
Wow.
Pitt, West Virginia, Rutgers, Connecticut, South Florida,
What?
Louisville, and Syracuse. That was the
crazy.
Big East. Yeah.
That's like a mix of like the ACC and like the...
No. The ACC and all these conferences are a mix of the Big East.
Wait, what? Say that again?
The Big East, the ACC and the Big 12 and all these schools stole. They killed the Big.
Okay,
they
sure,
did what happened
sure,
to the
sure,
Pac-12 basically.
No, yeah, I hear you. Yeah. But that's just a crazy... throwing South Florida, that just doesn't even...
Yeah. Yeah, no,
register
Rutgers
to me.
and South Florida were in the same conference at one point.
Wow.
But what happened to the Pac-12? Big East was first. They got picked apart. Everyone, I don't know why they just picked the Big East. I don't know why they just picked the Pac-12. But
Are there really only two teams in the Pac-12 right now?
yeah, yeah.
I saw somebody yesterday like do like their sleeper in every conference and whatnot, and like I was gonna do my own thing for that. And so like they had like Oregon State for like the Pac-12, and I was like, let me go look and like see who are the other contenders.
Yep.
And like it's literally just Oregon State and Washington State,
Yep.
but it's crazy.
Yeah, they're talking about adding Texas State, and then
I think that might have been kaput in the last couple of days. I think.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think I saw that.
Was there another team they were talking about adding though? I saw East Carolina. I think is maybe moving somewhere, but
Maybe.
I don't know. It's a mess. Who knows? Is that it?
Will you do the 3 shout-outs at the Buffs assignments for donations?
Yes. So shout out to everyone. Once again, this is Big Brothers Big Sisters Day for Spirit Week.
Hit that donate button. We're trying to do something real special for the youth, the future this week, especially today.
I mean, this is the definition of paying it forward right here. So shout out to Heaven's Demon. I mean, OG, man, appreciate you. Shout out to Anonymous, $20 donation. Shout out to Kyle Cedarius as well for a $20 donation.
Go.
So
Appreciate y'all.
appreciate you all. Diehards, man. Tomorrow's your time.
Let's go. Tap in with us. Back early with another early show.
Early show,
9:30 Mountain
9:30.
time.
So around 10:30-ish, that last half hour of the show, it's your time. Call in. So the link will be dropped in the Discord. We hope to hear from a bunch of you.
Let's get it.
Alrighty, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.